Hi everybody, I'm Mark Wallace, and recently I bought a 2011 Land Rover LR4 that I plan to convert into an overlanding vehicle. I talked all about it in the premiere episode of Land Rover Do Overland. It's a fun little series that's all about adventure in a 4x4 vehicle. So, in this episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to focus on the things that have happened mechanically. If you're into more of the adventure and the experience of travel, this episode might not be for you, but hang on. We're going to have more of that adventure stuff coming up in a few days right here on Shifty Drifty. So what I want to do, again, I want to focus on the mechanical stuff that has happened. And so before I start, I need to explain that I bought this car sight unseen when I was in Colombia. So I worked with a reputable dealer here in Arizona. I knew that the Land Rover had some issues mechanically. I knew it had high mileage. I knew I was going to have to do some things, but I got it for a steal at 10,000 bucks, all in, tax, title tags, the works. And so since I'm on a budget, that was okay with me. So when I flew into Phoenix and I picked up the vehicle and I headed out on the freeway, I immediately noticed one huge issue. And that is it has a huge front end wheel wobble, almost like an old Jeep Grand Cherokee death wobble kind of. And so I knew I needed to fix that. But I didn't know what else needed to be fixed on the vehicle. I'm not a mechanic. And so what I decided to do was first get the car ready, roadworthy. So fix all the mechanical issues. And then the second thing I wanted to do was to begin the conversion into the overlanding stuff. So that was all the off-road tires, the roof rack, the rooftop tent, winch, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that would come second. First, I needed to get the car roadworthy. And so what I decided to do was to fix the wheel wobble and fix anything else. And because I didn't know what anything else was, I took it to the experts down at Roventex here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And so what they did was they did a complete safety inspection, and based on that inspection, they did a few things. And they also told me that there were some things that they thought were causing the front end wheel wobble. The front rotors were warped, so they were wobbling around, and also the tires were mismatched. And so what I needed to do was fix that. And so I did. I replaced the rotors with some really high-end EBC rotors, and that fixed about 80% of the wheel wobble, and I was pretty okay with it. You know, I thought, okay, a little bit is not so bad. So I was thinking, this is ready to go. I can start going off-road. And so what I decided to do was get some TerrafirMa steel wheels and 30mm spacers. So that allowed me to get some little bit bigger sidewalls because those are 18-inch wheels. But as soon as I did that, then everything changed. The geometry of the car changed, and that wheel wobble became even worse than it was with the street tires. And so that launched an entire, I don't know, series of events. I'm not going to bore you with what we did with me going to different mechanics and different dealers and talking to people online and trying to get that wheel wobble fixed. But I will tell you what's been replaced so far. The upper control arms, the lower control arms, the CV joint, and the axle on the driver's side, all of that has been replaced. It's brand spanking new. It did help significantly on the wheel wobble, but it's not solved. There's still a wobble, a slight wobble at freeway speeds, and I have to fix that. And so what I decided to do after looking on the interwebs and talking to people, I just became convinced that the problem was with the front wheel hub assemblies. And so I thought, well, the geometry of the tires is putting stress on the wheel bearings. It's causing some issues, and there were some weird noises, and I thought, that's gotta be what it is. And so I ordered the parts, and I hopped in my garage, and here's what happened next. All right, I'm trying to see if this wheel hub here is loose. And it doesn't, you can't really tell if it is or not. So my theory is one of these is bad, and that's what's causing the shake and the wobble of the wheel. This is day 2. I have my breaker bar. I'm trying to take the wheel nut off the axle nut, and with this guy, there's just no way. I don't have enough mojo to get this done. It does not break loose. So actually I did this all last night and just no luck. So this morning I had to go get an impact wrench. Now I have the big gun, and let's see if this is gonna do the trick. Whoa. Right off. I think I cranked on this thing last night for half an hour This literally was 10 seconds. Wow. Okay, good investment. All right. Now the hard part is getting this off of there. It looks like it's already coming off. Holy crap. This is going to be much easier than I thought. I just pulled this right off. It doesn't seem bad. Yeah, this wheel hub doesn't seem bad at all. Which is sort of sad because this is what I thought was the culprit. Okay, time for the new part. The wheel hub assembly is now on. I've torqued all the bolts and the wheel hub nut has been put on, torqued, and then I've chiseled in the keyway there so it's not going to come undone. But this does move a little stiffer than the old one. Here's the old guy that came off of there. It's pretty loose comparatively, and you can see there's lots of junk coming out of there. And then when I took this out, there's just a lot of rust and stuff. So I don't know that that was bad necessarily. It's not obviously bad, but we'll see. We still haven't done the other side. At worst case scenario, these guys were about $500 total, shipping and everything. And so it's just sort of a nice peace of mind to have, that you know that you have good wheel bearings and nothing's going to go wrong down the road. So even if that doesn't solve my wheel wobble, it certainly hasn't hurt anything. So once we're done with this, then we'll check it out. If the wheel wobble's gone, great. If not, the last thing to replace are the tie rods. And then there's nothing else that holds these together, really. So everything else has been replaced. All right, I'm going to put the rotor on and then seal this up, and then we'll do the other side and take it out for a test spin. All right, the other side was pretty straightforward. The wheel hub assembly just came right off, but on this side, the axle is really old, and so the axle is seized on to the wheel hub assembly. So I'm gonna have to hammer this off. So I've rented a tool. This is a slide hammer, and it bolts onto this thing. And then this could take a couple of whacks, or it could take 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know, but it's on there. All right, here we go. And there we have it. Ooh, lots of rust. Lots of rust. Okay, the wheel hubs have been replaced, and so now what I'm going to do is take it out on the freeway and see if it fixes the wheel shake. I don't know if it's going to make any difference because the old wheel hubs seem just fine. At 50, smooth as butter. 60, 65. Got a tiny, tiny shake. Yeah, you can see it in the steering wheel. Still there. Still shakerama. Upper control arms replaced. Lower control arms replaced. CV joints, axles replaced. Rotors replaced. Wheel hub assembly replaced. The only thing it could possibly be now is tie rods, motor mounts. I don't know. Well, obviously that didn't work out, and so I think the next step is to replace the inner and outer tie rods. I've already ordered them, but they're on back order, so we'll have to see what happens, I don't know, in a week or two. Now, if you want to see what happens, and if adventure and traveling and going to different places and seeing different countries and cultures, if that's your thing, then make sure you click subscribe and turn on the bells. This isn't just about building and wrenching and getting greasy. This is definitely a channel that's more about experiencing things. So if you're into that, please subscribe. And if you'd like, check out my support community. I've got a Patreon site that's all about building community. So if you have ideas and suggestions, if you want to get more information, if you want to know specifics about places that I've been on my round the world trip, if you want to see some videos that will never hit YouTube, if you want to see more information that maybe the general YouTube audience isn't interested in, well, the Patreon site is for you. There are different levels. You can get in at a very, very low level, or if you want swag and all the different benefits and Zoom call and one-on-one meetings, well, there's a there's a tier for you as well. So check that that out. I really appreciate everybody that's been helping out so far. I really couldn't do it without you. So thanks so much for subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of the Land Rover Do Overland.